Hello, baseball and Mets fans, and welcome back to episode number 7 of the Stressing Mets podcast. The official start of August signifies the arrival of the dog days of summer being here. And it's reasonable and fortunate for us Mets fans that the Mets have been entertaining to watch because they have been playing great and exciting baseball. So let's dive into the first and arguably most important topic in today's video, and that is the MLB trade deadline. Of course, the New York Mets were buyers this deadline and made a decent and solid amount of moves to help this team in the race for October playoffs. 2 months ago, I don't think a single Mets fan on this planet expected this team would be in a position to buy, but luckily things changed and the Mets were lucky to be buyers. So diving into the biggest acquisition, and that is in Jesse Winker. The New York Mets traded to obtain Jesse Winker, the New York native, who has been having a solid season. Obviously, the New York Mets got him from the Washington Nationals, and the Mets are hoping that Winker, a left-handed outfield bat, can bring production on and off the bench. Winker, so far this season, has a triple slash line of 259, 375, 417, with an OPS of 792, along with 11 home runs and 45 RBIs. That on-base percentage is very nice. He does walk a lot. We also can include a decent glove in his new position, right field, contrary to left field, which is where he was mainly playing throughout all of his career. So it'll be interesting to see Winker adjust to right field. Winker is a solid rental obtainment. He's only earning $2 million this 2024 season. It's a one-year deal, obviously. The Mets gave up right-handed pitching prospect Tyler Stewart, who was ranked number 17 in the Mets system. So once again, this was a very good move for the New York Mets, getting a cheap rental who, honestly, I think any cheap rental would be better production over DJ Stewart. So the Mets made a solid move there. In terms of bats, that was all the Mets did as they emphasized most of their deadline and focus on pitching and bullpen arms. The Mets obtained one rotation arm in Paul Blackburn, the right-handed pitcher from the Oakland A's, and in return, the New York Mets surrendered right-handed pitching prospect Cade Morris, who was ranked 24th in the Mets system. Blackburn coming into the rotation is very valued with Senga going down again. It was imperative that the Mets obtained a starter to go out there and give you decent quality innings. Blackburn is the definition of a solid number 5 starter. He'll give you 5 innings, maybe 6 innings. He's a heavy ground ball pitcher, has a solid 6-pitch mix. Blackburn's 4-seam fastball and cutter have been hit hard this season, but he's had a lot of success with his changeup, his slider, and his curveball, as hitters are having a hard time slugging against it. He's only earning $3.45 million this season and is under team control for 2025, which is the final year of arbitration eligibility. So solid move there. You have a couple years of control, which is ideal, and the Mets once again did not give up a whole lot for a starting pitcher. In addition, the Mets added a couple bullpen arms and Huskar Brazaban from the Miami Marlins, Tyler Zuber from the Tampa Bay Rays, and previously, a couple days prior to the deadline, Phil Maton from the Tampa Bay Rays and Ryan Stanek from the Houston Astros, all added to their bullpen. With all of these trades, the Mets were in a terrific place since they did not even have to give up a top 5, 10, or 20 prospect in their system. So once again, the Mets didn't have to give up a single top 20 prospect in their system, which was great. We saw a lot of teams have to fish out top 5, top 10, top 20 prospects for a lot of bullpen arms this season. So crazy to think how lucky the Mets were. So that was the trade deadline. In other news, going into some negatives, Kodai Senga has been placed back on the injury list after straining his calf during his 2024 debut. I don't know whose season was shorter, Aaron Rodgers last year or Kodai Senga, but unfortunately, Kodai Senga is back on the IL. He did make his debut against the Atlanta Braves last week, and in the top of the 6th inning, Kodai Senga was dealing. He was having a typical Kodai Senga start, and he gripped his left lower leg and started hopping on his other leg as he walked off the mound on a Austin Riley pop-up right to the first base pitching mound side. Senga crumpled to the ground and was in agony as staff members and trainers hurried to encircle him on the field from the dugout. Senga left on his own. He was able to stand up. He did report to his manager that he wanted to stay in the game, but obviously that was not going to happen. An MRI on Saturday revealed that he suffered a high-grade left calf strain, and he was put on the 15-day IL and is probably going to miss the remainder of the season. If they do make the playoffs in October, that's something that the Mets will have to figure out then, but right now, the Mets had this unfortunate situation. Of course, this is a massive blow for the Mets going into the second half, but since the injury occurred before the deadline, the Mets and Stearns were able to pivot to get Blackburn to help this rotation and eat up innings. So, very unfortunate, but it was a good thing that it did happen before the deadline, so the Mets were able to pivot. Obviously, if this happened after the deadline, the Mets could have been in a much bigger issue. So once again, that is the Mets trade deadline. That is the injury news mainly. Once again, the Mets are going into August in a very good spot in the baseball playoff hunt. There are a couple questions that is down the line for the New York Mets in regards to how can this rotation hold up. It is curious to see if hopefully rotation has been great. Manaea's been good. Severino's been good. David Peterson has shockingly been great. The biggest question is if David Peterson can keep up his outings. Obviously, we've known that historically since making his debut in 2020. He's only been, around pitching 70 to 80 innings a season, and now he is going to be approaching that mark. So we'll see how Peterson can handle that. Hopefully, I think he can handle it well. He seems like he knows what he is doing. So David Peterson has been great for this team. Obviously, Luis Severino, Sean Manaea, Jose Butto. It's going to be curious to see if he goes back to the rotation. He was great in the bullpen. Great is one word to use, but he was phenomenal in the bullpen. He was arguably a Cy Young caliber pitcher with how he was pitching in the bullpen. He only pitched around, 15 to 20 innings in the bullpen, but still was very, very important for this New York Mets bullpen the last couple weeks. And in response, the Mets are likely to put Tyler McGill in the bullpen, which is a move that I am extremely happy with. I've been a big advocate for putting McGill in the bullpen. He's great first time around the order, but then second, third time around the order comes, and he just is not aggressive enough. So I think it'll be good to have McGill be a 2-inning guy in the bullpen. A long reliever would be ideal. So the New York Mets are going into the month of August. Once stated, July baseball is in the books, and the New York Mets had the second best record in July at 17-10. So that is really, really good to see. Obviously, first was the Arizona Diamondbacks, who were 17-8. So once again, the Mets are in a very fortunate spot. And, overall, I think it's safe to say that the Mets are capable of being a playoff team. I think they control their own destiny. And the only teams they're going to lose to is themselves. They are a good team. When everyone's hot, they pick up after each other. If they're not, they pick up after each other once again. So if the pitching's good, the starting rotation's good, the bullpen's good, and the hitting is good, if they're all consistent, and if they're not consistent at the same time and they pick up off of each other, we could see this New York Mets team having a very successful second half, potentially playing baseball in October in the postseason, which I'm sure a lot of Mets fans would love to see. So we will have to wait and see how that goes. Right now, the Mets' main focus should be on themselves. Don't pay attention to the standings. I don't care about the Pirates. I don't care about the D-backs. I don't care about the Braves. I don't care about the Padres or any other team that is in the NL wildcard hunt. Focus on yourself. Go out there. Win ball games. It's imperative. Win series. Sweeps are nice, but right now I'm focused. Taking 2 out of 3. Taking 3 out of 4. If you'll do that, the Mets are definitely in place for success. But alrighty, baseball fans, and that is the end of this video. Please feel free to give this video a like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and let me know in the comment section below what are your thoughts on all of this. Till next time, baseball and Mets fans, see ya and LFGM.